We are live. We are live, everybody. And guess what? We're back.
Yes, we are.
We are back. It's been a while, hasn't
Yes,
it?
it has been.
Let's fix this a little bit better. So let's let everybody know, too, that we're live. Today we're going to talk about Artemis Fowl, which is the new Disney Disney Plus movie.
Yep.
I believe, I'm not sure, but was that supposed to be in the theater or no?
Yeah, it's supposed to be in the theater. It's supposed to be last month.
Okay. So as we're waiting for people to join us, I'm going to go ahead and let everybody know on Facebook that we're live right now. We're going to discuss Artemis Fowl. We are live now on all four sci-fi. Misspelled all for sci-fi. YouTube. Reviewing Artemis. So, how has everybody been doing out there, by the way? Let's go ahead and...
Yes, I hope everybody's doing great. Hope everybody's been safe.
If everybody... Yeah, let's
And
talk about that a little
has
bit.
not been sick. I mean, we've been safe. We've been apart from each other for a while. But
Yes, we have. We have.
he has been... he's a little picky on what he wants to do, on some things. But we actually, finally get back together. It's been a long stretch.
It has.
With not being able to talk to anybody anymore.
That's been terrible. This
Yes,
virus
it
has
has
been. Virus has kept us apart. Even Captain Rickster and I have been
Yeah.
apart for a while. Welcome. We do have someone that's joined us already, and they made a comment. Let's see who it was. It was. Let me see who it was. It was. Where's it at? I missed it anyway. But thank you for joining
Yes,
us and
really,
saying
thank
hi out there. I think it was Kelly. But we're now letting everybody on social media know that we're live.
Right.
So we're going to go ahead and start our review of Artemis Fowl. Yes, it's Killian. Hi.
Hi, Killian.
Yeah.
Nice to be back. Been a while.
We can't wait till we can go to Disneyland.
That's right. Disney has to open up soon, so we'll be back there again. We're doing a lot of fun. We're going to even try to hit Universal Studio this time.
That's the thing we talked about. We're going to go ahead and start doing live streams from Universal Studios as
Yeah.
well. And
true.
doing a trivia from Universal Studios where if you answer the trivia on Universal Studios, we'll have prizes from Universal Studios given
Right.
out every week as well. So, which would be fun.
It'll be great.
Yeah, it's
We're
going to be
we're
awesome.
We're going to enjoy it and have a lot of fun.
Yep.
Like we have been doing, like we did while we were in Disneyland, so,
Yeah, and when Disneyland opens back up in Anaheim, of course out here in Anaheim, we're going to make sure we're there as well.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
When is it coming in? I think it's
July 17th.
July
I believe.
17th, yeah, so that's going to be pretty cool. And yeah, so that's what have we been doing? I've been doing a lot of reviews. I've been opening stuff and doing. Captain Rickster was in quarantine,
Yeah, so in quarantine.
so he wasn't able to join me until now that they've lifted everything. So.
Right.
In the meantime, I've been doing a lot of opening up things and doing reviews, and we're gonna have a couple new open. We're gonna open up this the battle droid, which you see behind us. It's probably hard to see. It's back there.
Oh, yeah.
You see C-3PO, the IG-11, a Knight of Ren behind us over there, and we're at where we're gonna have our new location.
Right.
We actually have offices now, so we're gonna be doing our live reviews from our office now. And here's a really nice little guy right here.
Yep.
Everybody remember the heavy battle droid? And this guy finally found the child. Here it is. Here he is. So
Quarter
he's
size.
quarter size. So he's finally got his child. So I'm gonna do an open box review of the little child here, Baby Yoda, as some of you know him, and
Right.
we'll go from there. That's basically it. Let's go ahead and get started with this Artemis Fowl. I'm trying to wait and let a few people show up, but we can't wait for everybody.
That's true, we can.
So here we go. Posted there as well in the community of Star Wars collectors. But to give you guys a couple updates on things that we have coming up in the future, we're going to be in Dallas Texas at Order 66 Toys, again coming up here
Right.
on the July 4th weekend. They're opening up a brand new store called the Best. They're calling it the Best Car store,
yeah.
like Best Car Steel. And we're going to be there. And guess who's going to be there with us? Nikki Botello, who
Yes.
played Teak in Ewoks: A Battle for Endor. So she's going to be joining us. It's the first time she's been out, so I'm sure the community of Star Wars collectors are going to be. She's a real cool chick, so
Oh, yes, she is.
you're going to really
Very
get.
nice.
Yeah, very nice lady, and she actually was in the costume. She was actually Teak in Ewoks: A Battle for Endor. And speaking of that, Captain Rickster, on this week they actually showed footage again from the Ewoks: A Battle for Endor on the Mandalorian, the gallery.
Oh, cool.
So they were showing, they actually showed the title. They didn't say the name, but they showed Ewoks: A Battle for Endor, and they were talking about the Blurgs.
Right. Oh,
About how the Blurgs are from, and all Jon Favreau would say was it was a deep cut. I guess I guess they're not telling him to say the names of the movies. They got to like show it up there, which is kind of awkward. Right. But we still have that petition. The petition is still up there, guys. If you guys want to go sign it, it's at change.org. Search for the petition to get Caravan of Courage and Ewoks: A Battle for Endor on Disney Plus. Last time I checked, we're at almost 3,600 signatures.
Yeah.
So it's getting up there. Thank you guys so much.
Really.
We appreciate that. So so Artemis Fowl came out last week on Disney Plus, and we had a chance to watch it. And at All for Sci-Fi, we have a rating scale of 0 to 5 stars. 5 stars, of course, is so we save 5 stars for the very, very best.
Right. We do.
And so you got to be really good to get that. If we say if it's 3 stars or below, don't stream it.
Right,
If we rate something 3 stars or below, don't stream it. Don't go to the
it.
movie theater.
No,
We're
don't
not
do
quite
anything.
back at the movie theater yet, but we
Wait-
will be soon.
Wait till it comes on DVD if you want to watch it that.
If you want to see it that bad. But we have a 0 to 5 rating system on that. And before we get into any spoilers, we'll go ahead and give you guys our official All for Sci-Fi rating so you know exactly what our rating is. The official All for Sci-Fi rating of Artemis Fowl gets a 4.0 stars. I'm going to go ahead and give it 4 stars. I think it raised above the 3 stars. I think it's really worth seeing.
It is worth seeing.
Is it the best thing? Yeah, it's good. It's a good
show, but it's not a 5.
It's not a 5,
Not the
and
best show, but it's actually a good show.
but it was
actually-
good. The effects were good.
Yeah, the effects were good. It's actually a good family show.
Yes, and kids would probably like this.
Yes.
So if you have young children, they may think it's a 5-star, but us as adults, we're gonna go ahead and give it 4 stars.
Yep,
What do
4
you
stars.
give it, Captain Rickster?
I'm gonna give the same to you, 4 stars.
Wait a second.
Oh yeah, we're gonna start this thing off.
We're going to start back on the very first review back, and we're going to agree.
That's right. We're gonna agree.
That is awesome. So if there's any problems with sound or picture, guys, just let us know in the comments
Yes,
as
please.
we're getting started. But yeah, the official rating is 4.0 stars, and Captain Rickster gives it the same. We're going to be reviewing some other stuff coming up here shortly. We're going to do a whole review. Maybe next week, since we're waiting for the gallery. It's 8 episodes on Disney Plus, the Mandalorian gallery. Now that all 8 episodes are up there, we're going to go ahead next week, and our review is going to be of those entire 8 episodes.
Right.
So that will be our official review next week. We might throw something else in there if we get a chance, but we're definitely going to be talking about next week. We're going to review Disney, the gallery, where they're talking about the Mandalorian. Okay, but let's talk about a little bit more about Artemis Fowl. If you haven't seen Artemis Fowl, we're going to start a discussion here, guys. So
Right.
please pause this and come back. Hopefully a bunch of you people have seen it, but let's go ahead and talk about it. So Artemis Fowl, I understand, is based on a series, a fantasy novel series.
Yeah.
It's
Artemis Fowl.
yeah, but it's 8 novels. It's based on 8 novels, and it was the novels were written by Ian Colfer,
Right.
who wrote the novel series. I have not read any of those. Have you read any of
No,
those?
I have not read any of those yet.
If anybody out there has actually read the novel series, it would be kind of interesting if you put in the comments below if you what do you think about the novel series versus the Disney movie plus one that we have. Also, if this is the first time you've joined us here at All for Sci-Fi, we recommend that you go ahead and subscribe to our channel because, guys, we do a lot of reviews. In the future here soon, we're going to be at Disneyland again, and we're going to be at Universal Studios once they both open up. So you're going to want to bookmark us so when we do our live trivia contest from those, you could help win some prizes. So if it's your first time here, please subscribe to our channel. And also, please give this video a thumbs up. Please give it a like because that helps us in the ratings as well.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so the Artemis Fowl novel series based on the book by Ian Colfer. It's about this 12-year-old genius who is Artemis Fowl Jr. And that's played by Ferdias Shaw plays Artemis Fowl.
Okay.
And Colin, what's his name? Colin Firth plays the Artemis Fowl Sr. Laura McDonald plays Holly Short. And we have Dame Judi Dench, who is playing the Commander Root. We also have the very lovable, the person we all love, Josh Gad, is playing Mulch Diggums. So, and it's an interesting character, especially the fact that he really thinks he's this dwarf, but he's really not. He's
too big to be a dwarf.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to remember too. Also, this is all taking place in Ireland.
Oh yeah, it takes place in Ireland, and one of the neat things is the Irish blessing, which a lot of us have heard of in the past.
Yes, we have.
It's that was pretty cool. But I mean, I understand it. Artemis Fowl it started in development at Disney back in 2016. And it went on the Disney Plus streaming service what was it, June 12th, I think, which is not too long ago. So I'm sure most of you probably have seen it now. So if you haven't, again, we're going to be talking about the movie. So, and basically what happens in this is Artemis Fowl Sr. is kidnapped, and Artemis Fowl Jr. is trying to find out. He divides a plan. Well, first of all, the father's kidnapped, and then the butler ends up showing him his father's stuff that his father wasn't supposed to show him yet. He wanted his dad to show him that, but since he was kidnapped, he thought maybe he could show Junior. Maybe he could figure out what happened to his dad because he was somehow kidnapped.
And he was a genius in doing it, so he remembered what his father told him.
Right.
And he found the secret.
He found his journal.
He found his journal like he was supposed to.
Right. And when he was looking through his journal, he starts to find out that fairies are real, goblins are real, giants and dwarfs, and they're all real. They're all part of the real world. And then we get to go see the fairy world, by the way. And the fairy world is beautiful. The underground fairy world.
Beautiful, yes.
It's wonderful. And at that point, we see that Mulch Diggums has just been caught by the fairy police.
Right.
So, and he gets sentenced to like, how many, 400-something years? Yes.
Yeah, 400 years.
Yeah.
And that's the third time he's been there.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is the third time. Hi, Buddy Mix. Buddy Mix has just joined us.
Hi, Buddy.
Yeah, Buddy. Nobody stole our toys. We are in our new office, by the way. And we talked about that at the beginning of the of this live stream, that we're going to be doing our reviews now from our new office location. And, we're also going to do some more unboxings like this. So we're going to unbox the child the quarter-sized child who belongs to the Mandalorian. So, yeah. Well, I mean, we'll get more. We're bare bones because we're just still setting up the office yet.
Right.
I only put a couple there now. I got to get I got to get a shelf and everything. Then once I get a shelving back there, then I could bring out more toys, and it will look less like bare bones. But we're pretty excited about it. Our office is pretty much done. So we're ready to open here soon. And that's a new venture I'll talk about later. Anyway, Mulch Diggums is caught by the fairy police, and he tries to seek the help of Holly Short, his fairy friend, to help him out. And she can't. She goes, I can't help you. Anyway, then we get back to where Artemis Fowl Jr. is doing research, and he figures out that his dad became friends with a fairy underneath this tree.
Right.
So his idea is to go to that tree and try to see if the fairy shows up, so that he could kidnap the fairy.
Right.
And end up, being able to go to the fairy world. And he's trying to find out what's going on with his dad. So, so in the meantime, one of the giants, the what are they called?
Hill dwarfs.
Hill dwarf. No, it's a giant though,
It's
isn't
a
it?
giant. Yeah, they call them hill
A
dwarfs.
big
Right?
goblin is in the city and interrupting this wedding.
Yeah.
And Holly Short's character, since no other fairy police are available, she gets sent on a mission to try to capture that giant and save everything. Apparently, the fairies apparently police the world and try to keep everything in order as well.
Right.
So she shows up there, and when she shows up there, this giant's already grabbed this little girl and is about ready to eat this girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Poor little girl when she's eating ice cream at this. It looks like an Italian wedding. Was it an Italian?
It looks like kind of Italian wedding, yes.
But I'm not sure if it was or not. It might have been.
It was Italian.
Was it?
If you remember, we saw the picture.
Okay.
Immediately, as he was going around to go get his father's, try to prove his father was innocent.
Right. Oh, right. When she's done with that mission, what happens is Holly Short wants to go find out. Yeah, it was Italian. The little girl was Italian
girl.
that was trying to be eaten by this giant.
Mm-hmm.
So she wants to go find out what's going on with. She's trying to. She doesn't. Her dad's been portrayed as this as a thief and a loser, and she wants to clear her father's name. So when she's done with that, so we also get to see some interactions. We get to see how the fairies are able to save that little girl from being eaten, and how they freeze time. The fairies freeze time so they can clean everything up. And then they kind of do like a Men in Black type of thing, where they wipe the minds of everybody, the memories, so that they don't know that fairies and giants were there.
Right.
That's kind of like they took it like from Men in Black, but it was done a little bit differently. It was kind of cool the way the little fairies are running around and they're wiping their minds and setting all up. That was kind of cool. So after she's done with that quick mission she was assigned, since she's on Earth and not in the fairyland, Holly Short's character, the fairy, decides she's going to go to where her like Men in Black, buddy, similar to that, but a little bit different. So she decides, since she's there in the Earth realm, she's going to go back to where her father was,
to the tree.
To the tree, and that's, of course, Artemis Fowl Jr. has his butler there. He had an idea to capture a fairy to try to find out what's going on with his dad. So she gets captured, and now the fairies have to show up and try to save her.
Because they shot her and that didn't kill her. They shot her full of drugs, or a sleeping drug, to knock her out and to take her back to the house so she can be held as hostage.
Yes. So now that they have her back at the house, the fairies they need to rescue their fellow fairy for the fairy police, and they try to freeze time. But of course, Artemis Fowl Jr., the 12-year-old genius he is, he's able to block it out. He's got these special glasses too, as well, that they're wearing.
Well, her dad told him that what he needed to know about fairies when they used mind control. And
that's right.
All that stuff.
He read that all in his dad's journal.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to find out where his dad might be.
Right.
By the way, the actor who played Artemis Fowl Jr., I think he did a very good job at being a 12-year-old kid. He did pretty good. He was believable the entire time. When he was in the beginning, at the very start of the piece, he's kind of has an attitude. It's like, if looks could kill, he would have killed his guidance counselor, because in the beginning he's in a counselor's office getting therapy or whatever, and he lashes out at that guy. He's so smart. But and the kid did a really good job, and he's got an interesting look. It's kind of an interesting look, and all the acting overall in the entire piece, I think, was good, except for there was one or two times that I caught the butler. The butler was good. The guy, you did a great job, the guy who played the butler, but there was one or two times I caught you acting, and we don't want to catch you acting. If we catch you acting, that means we don't believe you.
There's also a couple of places in this movie it's a little slow.
Yeah.
By the way, it does pick up. There's actually good energy in the movie.
Yeah.
It kind of keeps you on your seat a little bit.
Right.
There's a couple spots there that was kind of like a little slow.
Right.
But it was still a good movie. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and it was only in a little small part that I caught the Butler acting, and there was other parts that I loved his acting, like when he was talking about, did I cry?
Yeah.
And he was like, give me a hug, I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna cry. There were spots where he was great, and so I don't want to take it but coming from the field of acting, if I catch an actor acting, I'm gonna say something about it, even if it's me too. There's parts in movies that I've seen where I caught myself acting too, by the way, so I'm not perfect. There's scenes in Caravan of Courage that to this day I cringe when I watch it. And I think some of that had to do with looping. They call it ADR, Automated Dialogue Replacement, ADR. And there's a particular scene in the Ewok movie, the first Ewok movie, that when my dubbing, I totally changed my performance because I had to. When you have to do ADR or looping, it changes you have to recreate the performance in a sound studio, and that's hard as an actor. And there's this one scene in Caravan of Courage, the scene that I hate. I'm going to tell everybody right now what scene it is. It's a scene, I like parts of the scene, but it's a scene where we're with Logray, and he's spinning the wheel, and he's showing us what happened with our parents, that the Gorax has captured them. And there's one or two lines I say where the music swells up, and I say, it looks like a monster or something real big. Where is it? I'm acting my ass off in that scene. And then later, at the end of the scene, where I'm comforting Sindel and we're crying because we're upset our parents got captured, that part was good. But the beginning of that scene, it's like, and the dialogue was terrible. It looks like a monster or something real big. Where is it?
Who is this guy?
Not very good. Yeah, he is, but he didn't do a very good job in that scene. So even I'm not immune to catching myself acting. I just wanted to explain that to everybody. What an actor wants to never be caught acting.
That's true.
You want to believe them. So okay. So where were we? They captured the fairy, Holly Short. And Judi Dench and all the fairies are there trying to get her back. And during this time frame, Judi Dench's character gets sidelined once they find out that they have this Oculus. Yeah, this whole thing centers around this Oculus thing that could destroy the whole universe, that some certain bad forces want to get to control everything. So
what's really cool is I like that Centurion in there, that guy who played the man, half horse.
Yes.
That was cool.
The guy that's kind of like controlling everything.
Yeah, he did a real good job.
He did a good job.
Especially when he was running.
Yeah, that was fun to see a half horse, half human run around. It was kind
of funny.
Yeah, it was funny when they recreated the movement perfect.
Oh yeah, it was actually perfect.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to do.
Oh
yeah. So anyway, during the midst of all this, because that happens, and they find out that they have the Oculus. To try to save the fairy, they end up getting Mulch Diggums.
Oh yeah.
Josh Gad, they take him out of prison. We talked about how he went to prison, but they took him out of prison, and he works out a deal where he gets 60 or 70 years off his sentences.
74 years off.
74 years off his sentence if he helps out. So he ends up going in there and digging his way in there, and I guess that's why his name is Diggums, because he could dig and dig tunnels and get in there.
When he comes out is that was funny.
Yeah.
And they told him everybody stand back, and what one person do? Doesn't listen to him.
Yeah.
Gets shot.
Yeah. So that happened, and so he ends up. They end up having the Oculus, and somehow everybody, the fairy ends up becoming friends with Artemis Fowl Jr.
Right.
They become friends, and they decide to help each other. And she talks about she's lost her dad, and he's trying to find his dad so they can relate. So now they're helping each other, and in the meantime, Judi Dench's character gets sidelined for a little bit by some other person that tries to take over.
Oh yeah.
For a little bit, and
she called him a 4-leaf clover.
Right, and because of all that stuff that's happening, they end up sending that big, huge giant, that mountain giant, comes back and is like wreaking havoc and destroying the mansion and house. And in the midst of all this, the giant is swinging on the chandelier, and it falls down because of his weight. And the butler pushes Artemis Fowl Jr. out of the way, saving his life. And the giant crashes down on him, and almost doesn't kill him instantly, but basically he does injure him mortally to the point where he is dying.
Right.
And Artemis Fowl Jr. asks the fairy, "You got magic? Can you save him?" But they cut off all her magic.
Cut off everybody's magic.
Yeah, they did. So they see what's happening, and eventually they end up. Some of the other fairies who are friends of hers revolt, and she gets her magic back, and she's able to save him. The butler, which is cool.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah. So after that happens, the show goes to they have the Oculus, and they give the Oculus to Holly Short so she could do some magic to try to save the father, and she casts these spells with the Oculus. She's trying to control it. And she's saying some ancient language stuff and spell work, and you see stuff happening. Then you're not. Then Artemis Fowl disappears.
Right.
You think something happened to him, and they think it didn't work. They think maybe he perished and died. And in the end, you find out that he reappears and he's okay. So it did work. So.
Right.
Now his dad's back, everything's fine. It's the hero saved the Holly Short character, that fairy. She saved the day, and now they're going to be lifelong friends. She gets to learn about Holly Short, who wanted to clear her father's name. We were talking about that. She learns that her father wasn't a thief, that he was set up by all these people, and now the dad, Artemis Fowl Sr., is able to give her names so she can investigate and find out her dad was really a hero.
Right.
Her dad wasn't a thief. He died protecting everybody, the world, everybody. So her dad was really a hero. And at the end, Judi Dench's character, the Commander Root, ends up letting her investigate it.
Everything, yeah.
So she gets a chance to investigate and restore her father's name, which is wonderful. So I'm excited. I thought it was a pretty good show. I can't wait to, in the future, if they do sequels, and that would be great. I think this could be a nice little series of movies.
They left it open for
well, there's eight. There's
already.
8 movies, 8 novels.
Yeah.
No, they could do 8 movies or even more, depending
if they
on.
wanted to, yeah.
Depending on, like Harry Potter was 8 books, right? I think.
Seven. Books.
Okay, but they made 8. Oh,
8
there was 7 movies, but they made the last movie. They divided it into 2, made 8 movies.
Yes.
That's why I thought it was 8.
Yeah.
But Artemis Fowl is more. It's 8 books. So there's a what? Let's find out what the books are.
For it.
Yeah, there are. There's a bunch of books. So I mean, this first one, there's 8 novels. Let's see what they're named. The first one is just named Artemis Fowl.
Yeah.
The second one is Artemis Fowl and the Arctic Incident. Arctic, like as the North Pole, Arctic Incident. The third book is Artemis Fowl and the Eternity Code.
All right.
The next book is Artemis Fowl and the Opal Deception. Then Artemis Fowl and the Lost Colony, Artemis Fowl and the Time Paradox, Artemis Fowl and Atlantis Complex. That sounds interesting.
Yeah,
Atlantis, like the Lost City. Artemis Fowl and the Last Guardian. That looks interesting. But so there's a lot.
When am I reading these books?
We should, yeah. So everybody, if any of you have read these books, feel free to comment in our comments below.
Yeah.
And let us know what you think. What you think about this? If they did it justice, or did they jump far away from the books? That would be interesting. I have not read the book, so I don't know.
I don't either, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's great to be back, guys. This virus, which I don't even like to name it.
No.
Because it's time for us to get rid of this virus. It's time for the world to come back. I know we got to protect our people that have other illnesses so that they don't get it. But we need to come back to work. We miss all you guys. So hopefully we'll be able to do this more often. We got Disneyland opening in July, which is great. Yep. We're going to also add, like we mentioned at the beginning of this, we're going to add doing Universal Studios too. Mm-hmm. So some weeks we'll be at Universal Studios, some weeks we'll be at Disneyland. And it should be fun. And we're going to give prizes away from Universal Studios as well.
Right.
So again, if this is the first time you run across our video, just because you happen to be searching for a review on Artemis Fowl, be sure to subscribe to our channel, because we do all these live trivia contests, and you could win prizes. And you're going to want to know when we go live at Universal Studios and live back at Disneyland, finally. That would be great. Mm-hmm. And also, feel free to, this video has Super Chat. So if you guys want to help the channel grow so that we can do more content, sometimes when we're doing it, you're allowed to donate now. We are now a YouTube partner.
Right.
That has happened, and we want to thank everybody that has joined us on YouTube, and everybody that's helped us this channel grow. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers. Yeah. We're at like 4,700 subscribers, but we're also now YouTube partners. So even in our chat below, if you want to, you could donate $1 to help our cause when we do this. Because every dime we get from this, or even we also have a Patreon account where we'll have exclusive content only for our Patreon supporters. So whether you subscribe to Patreon and help us monthly, or every once in a while give us a little bit of money in the Super Chat here, we surely appreciate that.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, so Artemis Fowl gets a official All for Sci-Fi rating of 4.0 stars. Mm-hmm. We think it's worthy of going and seeing. We've went ahead and reviewed this. What else you got to say, Captain Rickster?
We're a little sad too. They canceled the celebration on us.
Oh,
now it won't
that happened this week. Yeah.
Yeah, it won't happen now. It won't be able to go until 2022.
2 more years.
No,
that's too many years between Star Wars celebrations. Yeah. That was the bad news this week, guys. That Star Wars Celebration in August was officially canceled. I don't know why you guys... Hey, Repop, if any of your people see this, that's August.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Okay, you can't you just lower the capacity or have on a ground sign so we can stay a little further apart from each other. Come on, Repop.
Yeah, really.
That's Star Wars Celebration, and we love it. So what are we going to do in the meantime? We'll see. But
yeah, we'll see.
I know Captain Rickster and I will be going to Disneyland and Universal Studios, and we're going to bring as much content to all of you guys as we can. So.
And we'll see what conventions come up for the rest of the year that we can be able to go here in California.
That is true. We will be attending. There's going to be a small local sci-fi convention. The San Fernando Valley Comic Con. We'll be attending next weekend, next Sunday.
Yep.
So we'll go live from there, so be sure to watch us. And next Saturday, we'll be reviewing Disney The Gallery and maybe something else sci-fi.
Right.
We'll let you guys know. So that's it for now. You got anything to say?
Just be safe, wear your mask.
Yes.
Do your 6 feet apart from everybody, and stay safe and healthy.
Stay safe and healthy. May the Force be with all of you. I'm Eric Walker for All for Sci-Fi.
And I'm Captain Rickster for All for Sci-Fi, and I hope to see you again.
We'll see you guys again soon. Thank you guys for... we're welcome back.
Yeah, welcome
All right,
back.
bye-bye, guys.